Your bank is running a scam, and it's completely legal. You deposit $1,000. They give you 2% back, but inflation takes 6%. You just lost $40. And you didn't even notice. This has been happening every single year since 1971. And the worst part? It was designed this way, on purpose, by one man, on a Sunday night. Let me show you exactly how it works, and why your money will never be safe until you understand this. To understand what broke in 1971, you need to understand what existed before it. After World War II, the world was in ruins. Europe was destroyed. Asia was devastated. And the global financial system had completely collapsed. Currencies were worthless. Trade had frozen. Nobody trusted anybody's money. So in 1944, before the war even ended, 44 nations gathered in a small town in New Hampshire. Bretton Woods. They knew they needed a new system. Something stable, something trustworthy, something that couldn't be manipulated. And they agreed on something simple but powerful. Every dollar would be backed by gold, $35 per ounce, fixed, guaranteed. If you held a US dollar, you could walk into any bank and exchange it for actual gold. This meant governments couldn't just print money. If you printed a dollar, you needed gold to back it. It was a leash on power, a hard limit on greed. And for 25 years, it worked. The post-war economy boomed. The middle class grew. Wages rose faster than prices. Savings actually meant something. A dollar saved today was worth a dollar tomorrow. Not 96 cents. Not 90 cents. A dollar. Families could save for a house. Workers could retire with dignity. The system felt fair. That was the world before 1971. Then everything changed. August 15th, 1971. A Sunday night. President Richard Nixon appeared on national television. Most Americans thought he was going to talk about Vietnam. The war was dragging on. Casualties were mounting. The country was anxious. Instead, he delivered one of the most consequential speeches in modern financial history. He said, "I have directed Secretary Connolly to suspend temporarily the convertibility of the dollar into gold." Temporarily. That word did a lot of work that night. Because temporarily lasted forever. With one speech, Nixon severed the link between the dollar and gold. No more leash, no more hard limit. Governments could now print as much money as they wanted. And they did. But why did he do it? The US had been spending massively. Vietnam was costing billions every month. Social programs were expanding. The government was spending far more than it was collecting in taxes. And other countries, especially France, were getting nervous. They could see what was happening. They started demanding gold in exchange for their dollars. The US gold reserves were draining fast. At that rate, America would run out of gold within years. Nixon had two choices: cut spending or cut the link to gold. Cutting spending meant political pain. Cutting the gold link was invisible to most people. He chose the easier path, and in doing so, he handed every government on earth the power to silently tax their citizens through inflation, forever. Here's what happened after 1971. In simple terms, before, $1 equals a fixed amount of gold. After, $1 equals whatever the government says it is. And when you can print unlimited money, you do. The US money supply in 1971, roughly $600 billion. Today, over $21 trillion. That's not growth, that's dilution. Think of it like orange juice. You have a glass of pure orange juice. Now someone keeps adding water. Every day, a little more water. The glass looks full, but the juice gets weaker and weaker. Eventually, it doesn't taste like orange juice at all. It's just colored water. That's your savings. That's your salary. That's your purchasing power. In 1971, the average American house cost $25,000. Today, nearly $400,000. Did houses get 16 times better? No, the money just got 16 times weaker. In 1971, a movie ticket cost $1.50. Today it's $15. In 1971, a gallon of gas cost 36 cents. Today it's over $3. The products didn't change that much. The money did. And here's the cruel part. Wages haven't kept up. Productivity has doubled since 1971. But real wages for most workers have barely moved. The gains went somewhere. They went up, to the people who own assets, to the people who understood the system. Now here's where history gets dark, because Nixon wasn't the first to do this. Not even close. Ancient Rome had one of the most powerful economies in history, and they destroyed it the same way. In the early Roman Empire, a silver coin called the denarius was 90% pure silver, solid, trusted, stable, the dollar of its time. Roman soldiers were paid in denarii. Merchants traded in denarii. The entire Mediterranean economy ran on them. But wars are expensive, empires are expensive, and Roman emperors faced the same problem Nixon did. More spending than income. So they did what seemed clever. They melted the coins down, added a little copper, a little tin, and minted more coins with the same face value. More coins. Same gold, same silver. Problem solved. Right? Wrong. Slowly, over 200 years, the denarius went from 90% silver to less than 5%. At first, nobody noticed. Coins still looked the same. They still had the emperor's face on them. But merchants noticed. Farmers noticed. Foreign traders noticed. They started charging more for goods, because they knew the coins were worth less. Trade slowed. Prices rose. Trust collapsed. By the 3rd century AD, Rome was experiencing hyperinflation. Soldiers were demanding to be paid in goods, not coins. The tax system broke down. Provincial governors stopped sending money to Rome. And 200 years after the debasement began, the Western Roman Empire fell. Not from invasion alone, not from military defeat alone, but from the slow, invisible rot of a currency that had been hollowed out from the inside. Sound familiar? We are not Rome. Not yet. But the pattern is the same. Since 1971, the US national debt has gone from $400 billion to $34 trillion. The dollar has lost over 85% of its purchasing power. The gap between the wealthy and everyone else has grown wider than at any point since the Gilded Age. And it's not just America. Every major government on Earth followed the same path after 1971. Japan, Europe, the UK, all printing, all inflating, all diluting. Venezuela did it faster and collapsed in years. Zimbabwe did it even faster and collapsed in months. The difference is speed, not direction. And the savings account your bank is offering you, 2% interest, while inflation runs at 4, 5, 6%. You're not saving money. You're losing it. Slowly, quietly, every single year. This is the silent theft. Not dramatic, not loud. No alarm goes off. No one comes to your door. Just a slow, steady drain, designed into the system itself. A tax that was never voted on. A fee that was never disclosed. A theft that is completely legal. So what do you do with this? First, understand it. Most people never will. They'll keep putting money in savings accounts and wondering why they never feel ahead. They'll work harder every year and still feel like they're falling behind. Because they are. Second, watch this space. Because in the next video, we're going to talk about what the people who understand this system actually do. How wealth has always protected itself from inflation. Throughout history, across empires, across collapses, and what that means for you today. If this gave you a new perspective, subscribe. Because this is just the beginning. The system isn't going to explain itself to you. But we will.